Namaskar and welcome to another episode of Editorial. Again, I'm going to talk about a subject which may not attract a lot of viewers, but again, this subject is very, very important. The topic I want to talk to you about is, are we taking rapes seriously? Are we taking crime against women seriously? And I'm going to show you some figures, some facts, and some analysis which proves otherwise. Let's get right into the show. We all know, heard, and possibly a lot of us felt very, very bad about that little child, a 12-year-old child, who was raped in Ujjain. Nobody to help her. Finally, a temple priest saw her, and that good man helped her. She was raped by an autorickshaw driver called Bharat Soni. This autorickshaw driver raped her, and the police have already arrested him, and he tried to run away from police. He suffered injuries and he is in hospital. This is the story so far. You see, our outrage is very selective. The entire nation is outraged when such incidents happen, and rightfully so. But then we forget about it the very next day. This too will last for a couple of days. So the question that I want to ask tonight is, do we take crime against women and rapes seriously? As a nation, are we taking it seriously? The answer is no, we are not. Because somewhere down the line, like every other incident, every other crime, every other wrongdoing that we have in our country, somewhere down the line, this gets shadowed by politics. It is not about crime against women that our members of parliament and our members of legislative assembly talks about. It is about how the ruling party is ineffective. So, when Congress has to allege against Bharatiya Janata Party, they do it as Bharatiya Janata Party is incapable of stopping it, and they do not bother about their own state, and vice versa. Bharatiya Janata Party does exactly the same. So, we play politics out of crime against women. Think about this. We play politics out of crime against women, and it is not that everybody sits together. I mean, this is a crime that is happening in every state. Every state. It is not that everybody sits together and then plans out, and then makes a plan, then works on a strategy, then works on an execution plan and tries to eradicate it. It has never happened. It has never happened. Whenever there has been crime against women, be it the Nirbhaya case, when the entire opposition went gunning for UPA government, or be it any other case when opposition goes against the ruling government, it is always a political battle, never a battle to resolve the problem, and that's the point I want to make today. Now, as always, let us get into some statistics before we make our final conclusion. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states. 7 states and give you some statistics. I'm going to talk about crime against women in totality. Okay. Now, in the year 2021, crime against women in a state like Assam was 29,046. Crime against women. Crime against women in Bihar was 17,950. Crime against women in Kerala was 13,539. Crime against women in Madhya Pradesh was 30,673. Crime against women in Maharashtra was 39,526. Crime against women in Rajasthan was 40,738. Crime against women in Uttar Pradesh was 56,083. Crime against women in West Bengal was 35,884. I have covered almost every government. I have covered states that is governed by almost every different political parties. तो कोई ये ना बोले कि why don't you talk about this and why don't you talk about this. I have covered almost every possible state. ठीक है ना? Now let us talk. Every state, and it has been growing. For instance, crime against women in 2019 in Assam was 30,025. It came down to 26,352. Then it went up to 29,046. And that is the case with every state that I spoke about. In Bihar, it was 18,587, 15,359, then went up to 17,950. The point that I'm trying to make is every state, it has only grown. It is never arrested. We have not seen a substantial fall in the crime, which means that we have done nothing about it. Which means if you are doing something also, it's not effective. Which means that the government really doesn't care. This is the point I wanted to make. And this now, I am talking about every political party. So let us not fight about which political party and what. Now, let me take you through some other cases so that, to just make my point clear. Let's talk about murder and rape and gang rape. Just murder, rape and gang rape. Assam, 46 cases registered, 47 victim, 1 case was not registered. Maharashtra, 23 cases registered, 23 victims. Kerala, 2 cases registered, 2 victims. Uttar Pradesh, 48 cases registered, 48 victims. West Bengal, 5 cases registered, 5 victims. So this is the cases as far as rapes are concerned, just rapes. Now let's talk about POCSO cases. That is crime against children, which are important. Assam, 1,925 cases registered. This is crime against children alone. Bihar, 1,561 cases registered. Kerala, 2,374 cases registered. Madhya Pradesh, 6,012 cases registered. Uttar Pradesh, 6,970 cases registered. West Bengal, 2,569 cases registered. I am talking about every state with different governments. Neither can they protect their women, nor can they protect even their children. If you see the NCRB record, it has never going down. If it's going down, then you say, fine, theek hai, chalo, we are arresting it. It has never gone down. It has gone down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, most probably up, 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 up. The conclusion of my editorial is A, we talk about the rapist. The whole world today is talking about Bharat Soni, that auto rickshaw driver who raped. Everybody is calling for killing him, and which is fine, which is right too. But nobody is talking about that society that never helped that kid who was roaming around asking for help. How do we correct that society? That's the question we collectively sit to need and ask as a society. And that can only happen if every party sits together under one roof. They sit no for political reasons. They sit no when there are elections and when they have to form elections and when they have to ensure that they come back to power. They sit together now with all political parties. Why don't they do it now? Isn't our women and child important? My first point is that sit together. How can we improve that society that doesn't help the child? That's point number 1. Point number 2. What creates a rapist? A rapist just doesn't pop up. A rapist comes from a society where that society doesn't respect women. A rapist comes from a society where he is allowed to eve tease, where he is allowed to do things to women which is otherwise wrong. Nobody says anything from him. He comes from that man-dominated society. Nip eve teasing. Nip eve teasing. If the government wants, if the law and order system wants, it can nip eve teasing. You nip eve teasing, rape will come down. A person who eve teases on the streets, put the fear of God in him. He will never turn out to be a rapist in the future. We don't do that. We are bothered about the rapist, not that eve teaser. This is my point number 2. We try to cure the symptoms, not the disease. So that's my point number 2. My point number 3. Every time, like I said many a times, every time you allow Ram Rahim type guys to go and celebrate birthday after raping women, we as a society are telling those people, no problem if you rape. If you are powerful and if you rape, no problem. We are telling them. As a society, that's the indication we are giving, isn't it? Forget the party. Forget the political part of it. Please think apolitically. Is that not the point that we are giving, we are displaying to our society? Is that not the point? And that not what we are showing our kids, our future? Is that not what we are showing them? Is that not what they are learning? That if they are powerful, anything is okay? I can rape and I can still go back to my birthday party? Isn't that what we are trying to say? Stop that. Unless and until we learn, we show the people that rape is the worst crime possible, and we show our youngsters that a rapist is treated worse than possibly any other criminal, then that child will know what disrespect to women is all about. Point number 3, my last point, and the most important point. I think respect for women should be a concept. It should be made as a duty of every Indian. Like we have our rights and we also have our duties, respecting women should be made into a duty. We are so busy trying to change India's name to Bharat and on all of that. This is one of the most fundamental things we need to change. This is the most fundamental things we need to change. Reserving seats for women in the parliament, fantastic. But ensuring that every Indian male learns to respect a female, I think is a big step towards ensuring that we stop crime against women in this country. It's a big step to ensure. A bill for a constitutional amendment that says that as part of our duty, the 12th, if I am not mistaken, our 12th duty towards our country is to ensure that we respect women. That should be incorporated. Try this and then we will see these numbers coming down. And if we are serious, without politics, without blaming each other, without using that for one's political advantage, if we do this, things will definitely improve. That's the point I wanted to make. Till I see you next time tomorrow at 10 p.m. Namaskar.